Official government guidelines here in Victoria, we of course follow the official government guidelines.
Well, the vast majority of Australians seem willing to pay the price for high-quality aged care.
That is the overall finding of a major study commissioned by the Aged Care Royal Commission, which surveyed around 10,000 people. The research was conducted by Flinders University in Adelaide, and one of the co-authors, Julie Ratcliffe, joins us now. Julie, good morning and congratulations on what is clearly a comprehensive survey.
Thank you very much.
So what was the most striking thing from that survey that emerged for you?
Well, I think the most striking thing that came from our survey is that the general public really recognise that we need to invest significantly in the sustainability of Australia's aged care system, and they recognise that public funding is a major component of that investment. And essentially, over 90%, almost 90% of our survey respondents indicated they would be highly supportive of more government funding to support aged care, and over 60% of our respondents indicated that we should be redirecting our public expenditures towards aged care in order to finance that significant investment that the general public recognise we need to make.
That's interesting, and also what I found interesting was a willingness from a lot of people you surveyed to pay, I guess you could describe it, Julie, as a Medicare levy style payment to help fund aged care.
Indeed, yes, we did find that. So we asked the income tax payers in our survey. Approximately 2/3 of Australians pay income tax. We asked our income tax respondents would they be willing to pay a Medicare type levy to support quality of care delivery in aged care, and over 60% indicated yes, they would be prepared to pay to support satisfactory quality in aged care for all Australians, and they would be prepared to pay on average an increase in 1.4% of their income tax to achieve that, and essentially 3% of their income tax to achieve high quality aged care for all Australians in need.
And a willingness as well for those going into aged care to pay a higher co-contribution if necessary.
Indeed, we found strong support amongst our survey respondents for co-contributions. So almost 70% of our survey respondents agreed that they would be willing to pay co-contributions or a fee to support their own access to aged care services in the future should they need them.
And Julie, I mean, there are surveys put out there all the time. I think what is interesting and different about this one is that aged care affects us all. We either have an elderly relative in aged care at the moment, or most of us will end up in an aged care facility at some stage in our later lives. And do you think that really hit home with the people surveyed?
Absolutely, Michael. I think that's absolutely true. It hit home with people, you know, even the younger people who responded to the survey. So, you know, my own children who are, you know, in their late teens, responded to the survey, and they said, you know, made them very aware of the fact that, you know, eventually, if we live long enough, it's very likely that most of us will need to have some support, either in our own homes or in a residential care facility. And I think that's one of the main messages from this survey, that the general public recognise that, and they realise that funding is part of the solution, increased funding to improve the quality of Australia's aged care system.
Julie Ratcliffe from Flinders University, thank you so much for joining us on News Breakfast.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Well, the exact price of COVID-19 is about to come into very